moving on to Aquarius. We have Aquarius, January 21st to February 21st, fixed air. Aquarians, I can't even insult you because you're not even paying attention right now. You guys are like so far out in left field. You're in La La Land, doing whatever the hell you're doing up in space. I don't know, but like come down to Earth for just a little bit so I can insult you, just a little tiny bit. Aquarians are lovely people. Aquarians, you guys are just lovely to be around. You're very fun, you're very imaginative, right? And that's mainly because your main ruling planet is Uranus, not Saturn. I think that Saturn is a secondary planet for you guys, but I think Uranus is the main ruling planet of Aquarius. They're very like loving people, but they're also very whimsical. Like a lot of the time, I feel like I can never place any sort of a label on an Aquarius because they don't want labels. They are like the most unique sign out of any of the other signs in the entire zodiac. They rule the circulatory system, the transport of water in the body, lower legs, ankles, and the wrists of the arms as well. They're like connectors, right? So they're very unique. There's nothing really like the shins, in the human body. They're really like their own people. They're very humanitarian. They're clever. They're inventive. They're creative. But they can be stubborn, unpredictable, rebellious, aloof. Aloof is the big one. Like they're just not paying any attention to anything that you're saying. They can seem unemotional, but I actually feel like I'm pretty good at getting emotions out of Aquarians because you just have to know how to talk to them. And sometimes they can be contradictory too. Sometimes they can flip flop and be wishy washy because they are. Even though they're an air sign, they're a fixed air sign. So what happens if you have air that stagnates? Well, eventually, if air stagnates in one area, it condenses, right? Condensation, it becomes watery. So Aquarians are kind of this like water-air mix. We're kind of similar to Scorpio. Scorpios are also kind of a water-air mix as well. So they get along actually pretty good, except for a lot of the times Aquarians can feel like Scorpios are attacking them. But either way. Aquarius is a really great sign. I feel as though most Aquarians are misunderstood just as much as Capricorns and Scorpios, but I don't think that they are judged as harshly or even care to be judged as harshly as the other signs do. Aquarius just don't care. They just want to be themselves, right? They have Deneb Algeti and Oculus. Draco actually goes from Capricorn and Aquarius, and Draco is associated very heavily with some very negative energy, but that's mainly because of the fact that Saturn is one of the bigger rulers of Aquarius and Capricorn. But Saturn's not a bad planet. It's just that Saturn is a very misunderstood planet, and none of the planets are bad, even though Saturn a lot of the time is considered a malefic planet, which is pretty bad just by the word. But that's actually not the case. The reality of it is that they're just misunderstood because their qualities and what they want in life is not really aligned with other people's. Capricorn and Aquarius both are the only two signs that are ruled by Saturn, but Saturn is so powerful. It's actually basically a unity. It's in a lower sense a unified planet, whereas the opposite of Capricorn and Aquarius would be Cancer and Leo. Cancer and Leo are split between the sun and the moon. So closer aspects to us, which are very powerful, are split into duality. Further away aspects like Saturn is a unity of a sense. However, Capricorn and Aquarius both are very misunderstood signs, probably more so than any other sign on the list. And I would throw Scorpio in there as well, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Right? And then Pisces is a little less than that, but Pisces has Jupiter to back it up. Saturn's a very misunderstood planet, and a lot of the time Capricorns just want to work, so they feel like they're misunderstood in that sense. But Aquarians, they just are dreamy people. They're really imaginative, right? And they want to be like unique. They want to be people. A lot of people say that Aquarians are like the most human of any sort of person on this list. But on the flip side of it, they are also said to be the least human, almost as if they're from space. Like they're not human at all. So it's this weird duality, and a lot of Aquarians find difficulty in balancing that. If you look at their constellation, it's a very complicated constellation. It's actually very quiet, I would say, constellation. It's not as prominent as other ones, but you can still kind of see how they saw the flowing water. It's a very large constellation as well, and it's one of the only constellations that actually dips really low down below the equatorial horizon, which I thought is very interesting because kind of explains why Aquarians are like so woohoo, like I'm whatever I want to be. Now, in the Chinese zodiac, they're the dog. So the dog, of course, being a very loving animal that kind of every person likes. That's basically what Aquarius is. A lot of people who are Aquarians they're not disliked. Unlike Capricorn or Scorpio, a lot of people butt heads with Capricorn and Scorpio. Aquarius is not like that. Aquarians, like, they love to be people pleasers, so they'll basically do or say a lot of different things to get people not to like them, but to get people to understand who they are, and that confidence is what people like about Aquarians. Again, I don't know who this guy is. I know that he played Loki in the Marvel movies, Tom something, and then this is Jennifer Aniston, I think. I almost said Jennifer Gardner. But fortunately, my mom watched a lot of Friends when I was younger. Okay, so as you can see, they have very, very plain features. They have like Libra. Them and Libra are the most people of the zodiac. They're both air signs. They have very symmetrical faces, very thin bodies a lot of the time. They're quite thin and in their energies, and a lot of times people can say they're like maybe even a little annoying. I don't think that's the case. I think that they're just very quirky. But they have these very pretty, natural features. Eyes. Aquarians are known for having very beautiful eyes, especially if they have blue eyes. They're known for having these eyes that really pop, kind of like the blue of Uranus. And I put a picture here of the Grand Man of the Zohar, which is drawn by John Augustus Knapp, because Aquarius is the old man of the zodiac. It's literally if Aries is the child, Aquarius is the old man. And it is oftentimes considered one of the longest living signs, as well as one of the wisest in old age. In youth, it's actually not considered extremely wise. It's actually considered one of the longest living signs that eventually passes down wisdom like the flowing rivers from heaven, right? And in fact, the hour of Aquarius is what's considered the devil's hour. It's between 2 and 4 in the morning, and that is right around 3 a.m. That is right around where we have that whole thing called the devil's hour, which is pretty important in a lot of ways, because that is where a lot of portals open up to restart the day. So the secrets of the rebirth are hidden between Aquarius and Aries, and it starts with Aquarius. But I love you guys. I love you, Aquarians. Don't worry too much about what other people think of you, because nobody cares, especially you guys. You guys don't care. But I will say that the best thing I think an Aquarius needs to work on is reading the room and following what other people are saying. And then trying to play into whatever the conversation is rather than being off in their own little world. That I think pisses people off, but that's okay. I love you guys either way.